Right, guys, so a lot of people when they go to the gym, they want to get the most out of the gym. So for a lot of these people, they turn to things such as supplements, protein supplements, to help them get to reach their new heights, or to run faster, or to be able to run for longer. And not only that, they want to be able to get these supplements to help them smash it in the gym and to be a lot better than the guy next to you. But the question is, do they work? Well, let's find out. So, we need to find out what a supplement is first before we can go any further into does a one work or not. So, a food supplement supports your diet. So it's something you should have as well as your diet. You shouldn't sort of replace it. For example, since we're doing protein, if you're having a protein supplement, you should have that with your meals that you've got protein in. So you shouldn't just have like a protein shake as a supplement for protein, if you get me drift. Like, I know it's tempting, or you think, oh, that's what I'm going to get protein for, so I'll just smash carbs. A lot of people do that, and it doesn't quite work like that. You need to have it balanced, but this is for people who aren't quite reaching the amount of protein they should be getting in a diet. And obviously if you have too much, it can be quite bad for you. So food supplements support your diet when certain nutrition is absent, like I've just mentioned. Supplements come in, say, tablets, they come in gel forms, they come in powders as well, which is probably the most common. Protein powders, whey powder, lean powder, mass, you name it. Anabolic, the names just go on and on. From A to Z, you could probably pick out protein powder. So that means that food supplements are supposed to help you in addition, not as a substitute. But there is a chance it can do more harm than good. So, things such as overdoses is a concern with supplements, because obviously too much vitamin A may cause bone loss, osteoporosis, can become an onset of that. Also, large doses of calcium can increase prostate cancer risks in men. So you've got to be careful on what you have, and especially if it's going to bother anything else. So ideally, seek a GP if you are a little bit unsure. I wish I had the disclaimer, because I don't want people to be trying these things and then that happens. But it's at your own risk. It's at your own risk if you're going to. Now, in addition to this, you can never really tell what's in the protein powder. For example, there's no specific boundaries, or there's no specific criteria that they have to reach, especially these ones that you get from overseas. Some, now not all of them, but some people on either Facebook or selling them, wherever, if they're not exactly a trusted one, it's hard to really say what's in them. There's been studies done which have basically determined that not only is there pretty much next to no protein in, but it's also believed that there could be things such as steroids and other hormones in there which can be giving you the gains, but obviously it's not giving you what you wanted. You wanted to buy protein powder. If it has got next to no protein in, but it's got more, other things in like steroids, yeah, you're gonna get bigger. Yeah, you're most likely gonna see a change, but it's not a change that you really wanted. You didn't pay for steroids, so therefore, why would you want a steroid in your diet? You wouldn't go down to the shop and say, I could have a loaf of bread, and come up with a pint of milk. You've asked for a loaf of bread. That's just the way I see it anyway. You should get what you pay for. But not only that, these steroids and hormones can be added into these protein powders, either on purpose or by accident. Now, if they're added in on purpose, it's obviously to bulk it up, whatever it is inside, and basically to give you a gain, but give you a gain that you've not asked for. Not only that, there's other reasons why. I mean, a lot of these places that make these powders, especially if it's overseas, will make other things as well. So they might make steroids for medicinal use or for medication. And obviously, if they've used that machine for steroids on the morning and they're using it on the night for protein whey, chances are, if they haven't cleaned it properly, which a lot of them don't get time to do, it's going to have traces of steroids in, or the hormones. And that's not really what you asked for. And it's a little bit dirty in a sense, a little bit unhygienic. You know, or it could be vice versa. You know, you could be getting, a steroid, medicinal steroid, and it's got bits of protein whey in. You don't want that. Now, that's one thing that can help you get that boost or that gain. But yeah, it sounds wicked. Yeah, there's a steroid in it. It's it's going to make us bigger. It's going to make us stand out from the crowd. Not really. It doesn't exactly work like that. There's a lot of implications that a steroid can have, such as can really mess your kidneys up, mess your liver up, shrink your testicles, for example, can produce baldness. A lot of things that can be quite irreversible, actually, it can cause. And then there's also other things like it's just water weight, and it can produce man boobs as well. And some of these things, if they ever do change, can be stuck with you for life. So yeah, you want that extra protein or energy kick, but you don't want it to be a one that makes you feel the drugs test either. And a lot of these protein powders you buy, they're going to make you feel a drugs test. I mean, yeah, that's right. They can make you feel a drugs test simply because you are having something that you shouldn't. And obviously, especially these little hormones and that, you don't know what's in them, or where they've been, or what is going on with them. And yeah, basically a lot of athletes don't bother using them simply because of this fact. I mean, whether you're Usain Bolt or your average Joe, one thing you can do to get around these things, or even get a cheaper price bracket, is to go for nutritional websites. The one I use is Muscle Food. Now, Muscle Food is absolutely wicked. I love it because it hasn't just got for my needs. Obviously, I eat meat, but for other people, if you're a vegetarian or you're a vegan, you've got to type it in the search bar. No coated proteins in foods that are vegan certified. So you can get your protein, you can get your amino acids, and you can get everything you need without having to worry about any, being ripped off, by being given flour, by being given steroids or any other hormones like that. You don't have to worry. And a lot of the time, it's either a lot more nutritious for you, and, did I mention that it could be cheaper as well, depending on what you want and how much you spend? Like, I used to get hampers that they were meant to be, say, £75 or £80 of meat, and I was getting them for about £40, £50. That's really, really good. That's excellent, And you get these little codes and you get discounts and that and everything. Honestly, you should try it out, Muscle Food. I'll have the link in the description for Muscle Food. You should try that. But yeah, but that's typically what you'll find in about 70% of these powders and supplements. It's not to say that a lot of them don't have anything in at all. I mean, a lot of them do have protein in, a lot of them do have what they say in, but a lot of them do have a bad reaction because it's made in a lab, it's made in a laboratory, or it's made in it's made in like a factory. It's not made, it's not like, it's man-made, it's not naturally made. And therefore, they've got a lot of other things in that you may think they're doing the gains for you, but they're not. I mean, for example, remember that energy kick I was just mentioning before? Well, basically, a lot of these gains, a lot of these things that have you buzzing off the wall, is caffeine. Now, caffeine is in quite a lot of them. Whether it's stated or not is another matter, because, like I say, the labelling and the whole brackets and everything like that, the whole specifics of it, a lot of it doesn't get tested, or a lot of it just goes over the radar or under the radar. And you can't really tell what's in it. But one thing that does get you, psychological edge is the caffeine in it. Now, caffeine, obviously, as I mentioned before in a different video, it can actually improve your workout. However, it's different for everybody. So yeah, there's that to take into consideration. That can have you buzzing off the wall, but it's about the amount that you put in. I mean, if they say have 4 scoops a day, spaced out between the day, or have 2 scoops 4 times a day, you could be getting 8 servings of caffeine. So if you're getting like 8 servings of caffeine, depending on how strong or how much caffeine they've actually put into it, could be doing you more harm than good. I mean, for example, too much caffeine fatigues your adrenal glands, therefore makes you produce more cortisol. When you produce more cortisol, you begin to gain weight. You begin to become depressed, fatigued, lethargic, all these different things. So if you've got that in a powder, that's one reason why you will either gain or wouldn't gain. But it's not necessarily going to make you gain, it's just going to make your energy levels just spike. You're going to be dancing, you're going to be buzzing off the ceiling if you've got the right amount of caffeine in there. Also, if you've got too much, eventually your body's it's going to reject it, and that's what's going to happen. And then you're going to think that I need supplements to live, I need supplements to get a gain in the gym, and you just get into a vicious cycle. Now, another thing is also nitrate. Obviously, this isn't everything that's in a one, but a lot of these extra things are what gives you this gain or this buzz, and can help you either perform at the gym or flop at the gym. So, nitrates. Nitrate is found in leafy greens and other vegetables, such as spinach or beetroot. Now, spinach and beetroot both got natural proteins in, but it's believed that beetroot can actually help improve your stamina. So therefore, that's going to help you be buzzing off the wall as well. Because if you've got more stamina, you're going to have more endurance. If you've got more endurance, then not only are you going to look at it this way. So if you've got caffeine in there, you're going to be buzzing off the wall. If you've got nitrate in there, that's going to help you with things such as extra stamina and endurance. You've got 2 psychological factors there that you're going to be thinking, oh, it's the protein that's doing it, when it's not. It's 2 different things that's working as a protein. So it's something to think about, something to take into consideration. Now, getting into what this is, nitrates. They get broken down into your body and they are converted into nitric oxide, which is basically during hard activities where you've got, you're not getting enough oxygen. So say if you're running a lot, say if you're doing a sprint, or say if you're doing, heavy lifting and you're not used to it, or it's a new training phase, but you're getting short of breath because you're using a lot of energy doing it. This is where this kicks in, this nitrate. Now, the more nitrates available, the more nitric oxide that's in the body, and it's converted, obviously, like I mentioned. Now, obviously, this aids exercise since nitric acid widens blood vessels and also increases blood flow, which, incidentally, helps you to work harder and longer. So, like I've just mentioned before, with the caffeine, and then you going into the nitrates, this is just 2 ingredients that a lot of them use. So, if you've got these 2 in there, you're going to be buzzing off the wall, like I've mentioned, and you're also going to want to work harder and longer. But there is a lot of different things that's going to stop you doing that. So finally, we need to look into the side effects of protein powder, because not all of them are as or how they should be. So consuming high levels of protein in the form of powder or even through the food alone can be detrimental to your health. Now, this is obviously with these powders, there's also side effects such as acne and rashes. Now, obviously I was getting like a low-end protein powder when I was younger, and that was basically, I had a bit of acne to begin with, but it cleared up, and I started taking it, and what I found was I was starting to get more acne from it, and it was making it really bad, to the point where my skin was pretty much, it was like a triple pepperoni pizza. And I did also notice that I was starting to get bigger. Like, I was working my chest a lot when I was about 16, 17, and my chest was the biggest part of us, you know. Now, I'm thinking, looking back, that had some sort of steroid in, or some sort of hormone in, that obviously my body rejected, but accepted in the same time. Obviously, it had that reaction, which was the rash, and obviously, you know, the acne, but it also made me put on a lot of weight on my chest, which, looking back now, I thought it was just because I was working hard, and obviously because I was just top heavy, because I was quite a chubby kid when I was younger. But I'm thinking now that could be the case. Also, fat gain as well. Fat gain is another thing that your body can, you know, produce, because you're adding extra protein to your diet, and obviously a lot of it's protein that you can't break down, or it's, you know, other chemicals that's mixed in that your body either doesn't know or shouldn't be having in its body, or shouldn't be having in it at all. And, you know, obviously if you're not doing anything and you're just eating, you know, these protein bars, or you're having these protein powders, you're going to put weight on. It's as simple as that. But it's fat. It's fat weight. And it's not necessarily doing it in a good pace, because that could take you ages to burn all that off. I mean, if you're thinking there's extra calories as well as protein, so you need to be able to do enough. It's basically if the punishment fits the crime. So if you're doing enough exercise and you burn enough calories and enough fat to be using them, then yeah, go for it, do it. But unless that's the case, then you're just going to put weight on, not going to have no gains, and then you're going to be stuck in the old cycle. You might even want to go onto something like Weight Watchers from this, and trust me, that's going to make you feel and look even worse going onto a diet like that, because it just restricts a lot of things that your body desperately needs. So now we look into bone loss as well. High levels, like I've mentioned, high levels of this can generate a large amount of acid in the body due to excess sulfates and phosphates that are included, introduced. Therefore, the kidneys then try to restore the balance of acid by excreting more acid. At the same time, the skeleton releases calcium, which is also lost in urine as a buffer. So you're going to end up losing a lot of bone mass. If you have a lot of these chemically altered proteins, and that's just not good, because you're getting a lot more protein than your body needs. If you're having that instead of a normal protein, or you get it from this, like a lab made protein, is in terms of getting it from other things such as tofu or anything like that, then the chances are that it's not going to be putting protein. Then finally we go into dehydration. High protein intake, particularly if you're not eating enough carbohydrates, can push the body into ketosis, a state which your body then builds up ketones, toxic ketones in the body. Your kidneys then go into overdrive, eliminating these substances, and in the process a lot of water is lost as urine, and obviously therefore if you're losing water you're going to be dehydrated, and basically if you're doing that you lose it through sweat as well. If you're dehydrated, then you're not going to feel too good, and that can cause a lot of issues. I mean, I've got water everywhere I go pretty much, and my flask as well, that goes everywhere with us. I've either got coffee in the flask or I've got hot chocolate, and the hot chocolate's normally for if I've just finished doing football, or if I'm going out with the lads and I'm playing some football, or I'm going on a long walk. I just like to have it because it's good crack for after that. But other than that, that's just to name a few things, and that's just a few tips and tricks about these things. Obviously, I'm not saying that every single supplement is going to have this. There will be a few that actually do what they say they do on the tin, but in terms of actually knowing what's in that supplement, even if you read the label, a lot of the things you see in that will just it'll sound like a chemistry set. You know, it'll sound like you're back in year 10 or year 11 and you are doing chemistry again. A lot of the supplements these days, the ingredients, you know, it's like this acid, that acid, alkali. Honestly, you know, you could take it to a professor and you could probably make a waterfall or something out of it. You know, it's mad, it's baffling. But to keep you safe, what would I recommend? I would definitely recommend doing it naturally, doing it properly. Spend just about the same or even less on a big hamper from somewhere like Muscle Food. Whether you want it lean, you can do lean. If you want it to gain, you can get other things. And you can also buy supplements on that website, and they are 100% tested, or you know, everything. Because they're one of the biggest retailers and sellers of stuff like this. Obviously, there's other things that people buy them from. If you want to try them and they're trusted, and you know for a fact you've had the products from them before, do it. But when it comes to supplements, I really wouldn't recommend supplements in terms of protein powders and wheys. But I will be covering other things as well, such as BCAAs, creatines, other things like that. I will be covering them in different videos. But all else said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.